Hey guys, it is Vulcan Wolverine or Kyle. Happy July 4th. Happy Independence Day. And I am going to do a video today. I might do two videos because it's July 4th and it's so important to fight for our independence. Yeah, I put a post, and I'm just gonna, try and catch some vehicular stalking around town. I've seen a little bit. I haven't seen any police stalking or anything like that. I did want to talk about it though. Yesterday, it was, I guess, last night. They really hurt me bad, and they knew it because I had to go lay down. Like, they were hurting me so bad, and it was like they were hurting my stomach, and I was having trouble walking. out to my car, so it was like they pretty much wounded me pretty bad. And it's like I didn't speak to my V2K or anything like that, but I went out in the morning, and I actually had city police follow me, and he had his brights on. It was during the day, it was bright and sunny like this, and he had his full lights on, and he was actually following me down the street, the main road by where I live. Wasn't just caravanning me or anything like that. He was actually tailing me for a while. And this was right after, they knew they had hurt me because I was having trouble walking and moving around. This kind of alarms me because I've always been, the guy to say that the police don't know anything about this, that these people who are doing the microwave torture are lying to police. But this policeman, he was tailing me, and they've never done that. Like, police have never really tailed me for a long time, and it was when they knew they had really hurt me with the microwaves. So I have to put the two and two together on that one and say that policeman probably did know that I am being tortured by microwaves. I don't think all policemen know, but I think some of them do. And I've said that. I've known that, but I saw an example of it yesterday where it's like, because I was being hurt by the microwave torture, then I had a policeman tail me when I was wounded. And that's how my torture usually works. When they've hurt me really bad, they'll amp up the gang stalking and the patrolling around me. And that white truck had an army tag on it. Which I'm also, gang stalk a lot by. I think a lot of these police and these ex-Army guys do not know what's up. They do think they're fighting terrorism. There's a huge American flag in the distance, two of them. That's what we're fighting for. But these people tortured me last night, and the V2K and torture proceeds through the July 4th day. As every holiday it does. I think a lot of my TI friends, I find it very surprising. Every time I'm like, it's July 4th, we're celebrating Independence Day, and these people are torturing and false flagging an innocent American, and people are driving around with one lights, doing the gang stalking. I kind of wanted to see if it was more or less today, but that incident did happen yesterday, where it was definite, where it was like that city police was connected to knowing that I had been wounded by this torture. It was no mistaking it. Because they've never tailed me for a while, and I was hurt really bad physically. They'd hurt my stomach, and it's created a lot of weird damage. I thought they were just hurting my stomach, and it was just, but it's created like damage to other parts of my body, or maybe not long-term damage, but just they're hitting very specific spots. I think they're hitting my liver, and they've hit other spots that it feels just like they're hitting my stomach, but I think they're trying to hit specific organs, because I covered up around where my liver is, up in the upper left, like under your chest, and the pain stopped a lot. It may be because I started taking the kratom, and that helped a lot. But yesterday they really hurt me when they hit me in the stomach, and it may be because the kratom is processed through the liver, and they were hitting me in the liver. And there's an EMS worker right there coming by. There he goes. Happy July 4th, EMS worker. I need medical help right now, and he has caravanned me while I'm being tortured and have microwave hearing, running through my head on July 4th. So, God bless America. God help America. Because I love my country. I don't love this place that we're living in right now. It seems like an alternate universe of America where we've turned into Nazis or something like that. And then a lot of people don't even know about it. I want to get back to the country that I love somehow. Maybe I can jump through a portal and jump back to that, America where everybody's courageous and bold and doesn't murder their neighbors. That's kind of a sarcastic joke. It was very, it was, what's it called when you joke and nobody can really tell you're joking? I don't know, whatever that's called. That's what that was. Because I'm really not laughing. It's not very funny. I got a text from my dad today. They're in Florida, and they said Happy July 4th, and I'm glad. They're in Florida. They're having fun. And that's good, but it's like I'm back at home in our state, being tortured and murdered by these people, and they just think that I have like a mental illness or whatever they think. So it's awful to have to celebrate July 4th. And there's a one light black truck right there. Now I just put my camera on, and it's like I don't know what to expect. And there's some police right there. I don't know if I got that. It looks like they're just patrolling normally though. They probably weren't there for me. And a lot of times these cops are just patrolling normally, and they might just accidentally come by me, and I'm like, oh, well, that's they're stalking me or whatever. But a lot of times it will just be normal police on their normal patrols. And those are police that don't know about it. But definitely yesterday, when a cop tailed me down 2 streets with his bright lights on. Not his running lights, but his bright lights on, and it was after they knew they had hurt me really bad, because I was like stumbling around the condo, stumbled out to my car. They'd hurt my stomach very badly. So some cops are, I guess, in the know about the torture and how badly you've been hurt, and when you can, be kind of shrugged off as crazy. When you might do something where you might, I don't know, swerve when you drive or something like that. But that kind of clinches it for me. And before I'd believe that, but I'd just never seen it in my stalking, so I couldn't say 100%, cops know we're being microwave tortured. But now I can. Some cops do know 100% that we are being microwave tortured. That is a very sad thing. I guess it's sad news on July 4th, but it's not new news to a lot of people. It's not new news to me. It's just kind of, I saw a huge example of it, yesterday. So what else is going on? I missed the call last night. I didn't miss the call on Saturday, but I was a little bit disappointed. I wasn't disappointed. James Lyko came on, and he talked about the Android app he has. My phone is getting super, super hot right now. He talked about the Android app that he has, an EMF detector, and you can also get them on iPhones. James, I'm going to try and get in touch with him, but if you are watching this, please comment as to exactly what app you have for your Android, because he has an Android app that's very specific in direction. I have an app on my iPhone that picks up micro Teslas of how much microwave radiation you have around you. You can kind of use it as directional if you kind of play with it and you move the phone around, but his, I think, is built to actually catch a direction, when it's stabilized. And if he is watching this, if he could just comment on that, exactly what he has. And we should all get phone apps that are EMF detectors. because it's a deterrence for these guys. You know, sometimes they'll turn it off, you know, or they'll try and move it around, and my phone is just like really hot. It's like on my hand, it's like a scalding plate you get at a Mexican restaurant. But like the Saturday night call was good. It disappointed me a little bit, and there are 2 city police behind me, like right behind me. You see it right there in the window. 2 city police coming in. I guess they are caravanning me on July 4th. I guess I'll just keep the camera on them like that. But the phone call was good, and the Saturday night calls are usually, you know, big news and, you know, big guests who are target individuals that know a lot about the targeting. It's a little bit disappointing to me that, like, I feel like we're at a time where it's like we got, you know, people are making bold moves, we're getting awareness out there, and we had, you know, it was a guy who's very knowledgeable about electromagnetic frequencies. He was talking about the E-meters, though. That was the you know, that was the importance of the call on Saturday night. It was talking about E-meters and writing letters to the FCC about the E-meters, and that's important too. That is hurting a lot of people. It's a lot of microwave radiation is coming off of those, but you know, I kind of wish that they were hitting while the iron's hot. You know, really focusing on just the targeting, because we're getting somewhere. You know, many people are talking on Facebook and YouTube. New target individuals are making videos. So we got to use this. You know, I've been talking to, you know, a lot of young men and women who they really, you know, they want to do, you know, a big meetup. We're just talking about the details, but it's going to happen. I really think that we need to keep the archetype that Martin Luther King had. It's an archetype that already worked. It's an archetype, the Million Man March. If we do a Million TI March, and we just archetype it, we use that archetype to connect it to what Martin Luther King did. I feel that's important, and I feel like the place is important too. You know, the Washington Monument where they did it. I feel that that's very important, because what that does is it does use an archetype that has already been used in our history to gain freedom. But it also will separate us, you know, from all these people who think we're schizophrenic and stuff like that. If we really attach it to something where people are looking at that instead of like a bunch of lies that, you know, bought and paid for psychiatrists are using to show us as delusional or dangerous or whatever. If we detach it from that and we attach it to an archetype that already exists, that people see as already hopeful, that's a big deal. That's a big deal in people's minds too, because it attaches it to a political stance instead of some kind of like a bunch of crazies, you know, talking about conspiracy theory. So like my plan for in 6 months, or you know, in about 6 months, having a Million TI March at the Washington Monument, getting the permits. You know, I don't care about what's going on in the city of Washington, or if they're not getting things on the mainstream media. We can still make it happen, but my plan is very specific. Where it has to be the Washington Monument. You know, it has to give us time, because it's attached to a certain archetype, and I want to attach it to that certain archetype, the political archetype, because it will get people, they'll immediately see that, instead of questioning, oh, these are some crazy TIs somewhere, you know, protesting, and they're all a bunch of conspiracy theorists. We've got to start doing that. We've got to start taking archetypes that have already existed, political archetypes that have already existed, and attaching ourselves to it. And I know that you know, we also have to be original. We also have to think outside the box. I understand that completely. But for people who don't understand this, non-TIs, people who've never heard of it, if we attach it to those archetypes that already exist, that's where their mind's headed. Their mind's not headed towards that New York Times article. You know, they're going to then start seeing this as a political movement, as political campaigning for our lives, and not just conspiracy theory or delusional disorder. So it is very important to attach it to archetypes that we already know have been successful. So that's a lot where my plan comes from. You know, the timing of when we meet